Hey guys, welcome to the woods. Well, it's going to get a little tricky because I didn't bring my jacket with me. I knew it was going to rain, and I've been walking down the trail here and I feel it's starting to rain. And anyway, so that sort of puts an extra rush on me. And I also feel like today some days I've been out in the woods literally like all day. And I've gone into so many dreamy, love on myself, vibrational ecstasy. I don't know if that's the word. I don't know what, but anyway, there's a word I'm searching for, but just love vibration, and you get a real strong sense of it, and then maybe you get a phone call and you got to deal with somebody, and then it sort of pulls you down, then you're back to like, all right, now where was I? And anyway, so when I come to make a video, I hope to be in that high vibration, loving on myself vibration, where all I have to do is think of a topic and it's going to all flow, because I'm in that flow vibration. I'm in that high point where everything seems to make sense, and I feel the love and I feel the connection to all things. So whatever I say, it's going to be okay. That's what I wanted to talk about today, I guess, and I go with it. But when you're a little bit sort of like stressed about the rain, I don't really have a raincoat. Is this going to be a washout? Am I have to how am I going to get, in that tuned in, tapped in, turned on vibration, as I like to say, so that I can present something that makes some sense? Because otherwise I got to have notes or tell you a story that I already know, or like I'm teaching a class or something like that. And nothing wrong with that, but just I'm unprepared for that method. So but anyway, today my day got cut short because my granddaughters, I was watching them today, and my daughter is having a little baby boy yesterday, and so she is still in the hospital today. So anyway, so the story where I want to tie that in is I'm at this playground playing with my two daughters and swinging them in the swing. They're both in two separate swings, and I'm just swinging them. And so I'm in my own mind and they're in their own head. I like to be connected when I'm with them. I don't want to be distracted, because that's what kids want. They want your full attention. They want you all in. And when you're all in and you stay up and you're all in, they'll stay up and the day will be easy. So anyway, I'm swinging them, and one of my granddaughters just turned 4. She is swinging and she's getting that tuned in, tapped in, turned on love vibration, connected to source, connected to the Christ consciousness, loving on herself and loving everything around her. So, and of course that's easy. We've all done it as children. 4 years old, swinging in a swing and someone's swinging you. And she's talking a little about how her mom taught her how to do her legs, but she isn't really doing it right because she's swinging out and still kicking both, coming back and doing both, So, but she's got the idea and she's so proud of herself. And if you say nice things to her at that point, oh, that was really a good job of whatever it was, they just beam. And she can't help herself. She's like, oh, thank you, Poppy. And I love you, and she'll hug up and stuff. I mean, you just give them a little bit of, you catch them and you move yourself up to that high vibration with them where nothing in the world is going wrong and nothing matters and everything's perfect. And you say any nice things, it's just like they feel it in you, and it's just so raw and so easy to play with and so beautiful that I thought this is a good thing to sort of entice some kind of conversation here. So my point would be this, or I wanted to give some more details of it. She's swinging, she's in her own little love zone, and I can tell because she's sort of talking to herself like she's got an imaginary friend with her. But she'll talk to herself in first person, which, it's not it's not amazing for children, but I like to do that as an adult, and I've gotten back to that as part of my just sort of stumbled on my chasing down how to bring myself up into a love vibration, and how to keep it once you're there, and then bringing other people up in it, and all that type of stuff. So it's like juggling. You just have to keep practicing and keep wanting to do it. So in this mental juggle, she's swinging and she is in first person saying nice things about herself. And so she says, she's singing at this point. Now, she's at another level. She's singing to herself, and you can tell she's in that love vibration voice, and she's just like, I love the world. Or no, she's saying AJ, that's her name, Autumn Jean. So AJ, and she's saying AJ loves the world, AJ loves the world. And then later she talks about some other little gibberish things, and it's all sweet talk. And then she's like, The world loves AJ. The world loves AJ. And just, with the swing, and it's like, man, that is, that's mental programming if you've ever heard it. I don't want to ever lose that. I'm trying to get myself and other adults to get it back. But that connection to your own inner child is so key to happiness and peace. And if you're going to be any part of anyone else's peace, you got to figure it out for yourself. You got to love on your own inner child. You got to know how to rise up to a higher love vibration and understanding of yourself. And you got to coax yourself up, and you got to know what's pulling you down, and you got to coax yourself up, and you get used to that. And we call it meditation or positive affirmations or whatever else you want to call it, but it's innate. And so I like to actually think about my inner child and think about how I want to talk to my inner child. So just like my granddaughter is saying about how she loves the world and the world loves her, but she's mantraing it, and I'm sure she, it's not like, she's just thinking of that stuff. I'm sure it's sort of, the song was probably put to her from some children's television show. But they've got great stuff out now, and they're much more loving and teaching about emotions in children's cartoons now, that all they taught us was like, cats like to fight with mice, but and coyotes always lose. But anyway, so there's a lot of beautiful things happening on the planet. That's one of them. Children are much more sensitive. And I see a lot of adults that don't like that. They're really frustrated with the sensitivity of children. These kids need to buckle up, man. They don't know what work is. They don't know what struggle is. They don't know what suffering is. Just buckle up, buttercup, So anyway, the point is that sense of talking to yourself and singing to yourself is beautiful. And and talking to yourself in the first person and saying nice things about yourself and positive things about yourself. That seems awkward and uncomfortable, but I'm telling you, it's the only way you're going to ever have true, lasting peace and harmony in your life. Pretty strong statement. I believe it's true, and I don't hear that from a lot of people, so it's going to be the statement I really own. You've got to learn to say loving things to yourself. I'm at the point, and have been for a while, but I can't do it till I get to that. I'm not going to fake it necessarily, but when I start getting up to higher vibration, I'm thinking nice things about myself, I say them out loud, first person, and I call him my little Danny body. My little Danny body sometimes does some really great things, and he really is so patient, and he works so hard at being loving, and he works so hard at trying to be understanding of people, and he works so hard at being sympathetic to people, and he works so hard at trying to unravel things he thought he didn't like about himself. And we should all have 15 things that we say about ourselves that we really love about ourselves. And a nice, gentle, childlike way of talking about things that you don't like about yourself. It's like, oh, yeah, I know, that's what one of my little weird things is I get spacey in my head, so I can talk about these kind of deep things, but I'll get lost driving down the road. I'm like, where am I going? What am I? Damn, you missed the exit. Now you got, and that's kind of the stupid stuff like that'll frustrate me. And you get frustrated, and then I'm like, oh, Danny body, you got, that all your strengths and all your gifts and all the things that you bring to the planet that are worth a hill of beans all come because of by means of the things you've given up. You've given up the ability to concentrate on the road, and you've given up the ability to remember names and places of things, and you've given up the ability to spell a word. You've given up the ability, there's so many things that in school years they thought were so dysfunctional. He's a nice guy and he seems smart, but why can't he spell? It's like, why doesn't he know why can't he remember anything? It's not my thing. But now that I'm older, I'm like, it still hurts a little bit. I have that sore soft spot for myself about those topics. But I know that's what gave me the ability to focus on the big picture, because you got to let a lot of stuff go. To work on your spiritual journey, you got to pretend you don't know anything. I don't know. And you just got to let things go, and you got to not be focused on things around you. And so anyway, I won't go into all that time because that's my own self-therapy, and I'm here to share something with you. I'll have that conversation with myself walking down the trail. All right, so might even love on myself a little bit, you know, say, "Aw, you wanted a hug today?" All right, so I talked about my granddaughter. So here's one maybe a little bit more practical view. Let's say you're with a customer at work. I had this whenever there was a troubled customer, argumentative, mad, something goes wrong. I'm the owner, so they would call me, and I got to show up and deal with that. But I know the buck stops with me. If that customer goes out unhappy, that's, oh my gosh, it costs so much more later to get over it later. So I'm like, I got to unravel this. So they come in and they're throwing knives at me. That's always my vision of it. It's like, oh, you dodge one or two, but then oh man, that really hurt. I'm sure you're right about that point, but man, we try hard and everyone has that problem or whatever. So you're getting these knives thrown in you, and your gut instinct, everything about you says, they're wrong about that, they're wrong about this, and I didn't wreck this car, I didn't cause their money problems, they told me to do it this way or that, or whatever other little things they're disputing about. And you feel like you want to take the knife out and just throw it back, and it's like, oh, you take them. But you know that you're going to pay for that because it's just going to spiral down in an ugly way. So just like I'm trying to bring myself up by being loving and patient with myself as I climb up the sense of, okay, I've done the best I can. Everyone's doing the best they can. Customers doing the best they can. I'm doing the best I can. That doesn't make it not hurt, but I'm starting to talk up the line a little bit. So then I want to feel, if I can really feel sympathy for the person, and then I'll repeat some stuff back. It's like, yeah, I hear you saying this, and that, I can see where that really hurts, and I can see now I'm giving them a little bit of sympathy. I'm not still high flying, I'm still injured and being beaten down by this person, but I'm throwing the positives, and they come up and they meet me, and then I throw some more positives and they come up, and 9 times out of 10 I can end that with a hug, and I'm hugging the customer. Always with employees, there's a squabble about things, I'm hugging, 2 employees are hugging, whatever. Because a hug, something magical about that, because the important point is this, what I say to the customer, you can never tell a person what to say to a customer when there's a dispute going on, or when they're really frustrated, they're hot. You got to feel it. You've got to feel empathy for that person. If you can't feel it, don't say anything. Because everything's going to come out of your mouth is going to be a knife. So you got to feel it, and like, yeah, okay, let me have those knives. Yeah, it's true. I understand it, and this is a legitimate throw. I get it, and you take it, and so you're breathing in, like, okay, let's go, bring it in. I'm okay with this, and they sense that in you, and then they come up, and then you bring them up a little higher, and then they come up, and the next thing you know, you're complimenting them on their ability to pull it together. You won't want to say it in that way, but I do. I feel good about people. I'm like, I really look how good they're doing. They're working on it. They're working this process. They're talking nicely to themselves. They're talking themselves down off the cliff, and I appreciate that in my mind while I'm talking to them, and they rise up, and then I just keep climbing with them until we're giving hugs, and you're just like, I am so. And by that point, I'm really feeling it. I am so sorry that this didn't go the way you wanted it. Now, the other employees are arguing, what are you talking about? It went just the way he told us he wanted it to go, and da-da-da-da-da. And later, sometimes afterwards, a lot of customer employees, especially new employees, they'd be like, they feel like I wasn't hard enough, like I should have. They think of points, like, well, that was wrong, that was a lie, that wasn't true, that didn't really go that way. Doesn't matter. I want to feel connection with that person. I don't know why I focus so much on the connection with another person, because I really don't want you to go fixing other people. But the process is easier to describe. You get that, because we've all had those situations where it's like throwing knives at the beginning, you going, battling at that low vibration. You've got to bring everybody up. You've got to bring yourself up to deal with anything in this world. Whether it's relationships with your partners, family members, co-workers, whatever. You've got to deal with people from a higher vibration, and you got to learn how to get yourself up there. We all have done it. Sometimes we stumble on it, sometimes we get really good at it. We know when we're in, we know when we're not. But that's what meditation's all about. Learning to get tuned into your vibration. What am I feeling right now? Get sensitive. That's why I say, just let things go, put things down, get sensitive. Go within, conscious of your breath. Be conscious of the breath while you're talking and listening to other people. And slow yourself down. And you'll be able to be more sensitive to what I'm talking about. And you'll get used to climbing up your own vibrational ladder and feeling good about things. And when you feel good and you're at a higher vibration, you've got the clarity to not just affect the other people around you, which you do, but you can also give solutions to things. If you want to be a doer and you want to fix some things, you can do it from that high vibration. But if you're not used to going there and coming back down and going there and coming back down, you got to do that for a while. Meditation's a great tool, but anyway, talking nicely to yourself, I think that's the one I want to latch onto. So we're out of time. We're going to end it on that one. Throw love bombs on yourself. Be loving to yourself. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a break if you got to start from that perspective. But say nice things about yourself and realize that everything you don't like about yourself, all those little personality quirks or things that you wish you didn't have as a characteristic, just know it's the other side of a coin of what you're good at. Some of the things you love about yourself only happen because on the other side is, you got to pick what you're going to focus on. And anyway, just work on those 15 things. I've picked that number out of the back of my head, but 15 things you should write down that you love about yourself and get used to saying them. Anyway, see how that goes, and we'll talk about it again. All right, love you guys. See you tomorrow.